Hello, hello, hi, folks. Welcome. Happy Saturday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. Welcome. I love these blue actually. They really show, huh? Are you ready for tonight's gig? It's about to go down, folks. This is by far. Let me just tell you, you guys are in for a surprise. You are about to love this skit tonight. So if you haven't checked out any of my skits and you're in for a little laugh, a chuckle, that kind of a thing, a little inspiration, be sure to check me out on Instagram or TikTok, or even here. I post my reels here as well. So, with that being said, let's get started with tonight's subject. We had our conference this weekend, and it was virtual, which was kind of neat and not neat at the same time, but kind of neat. But some amazing speakers and subjects, and they dropped a new category of product line, and just the stuff that these guys do. But I heard this story today, and I thought that is so funny, and yet it's so true. It's so true. Have you ever complained about any kind of work being hard? Oh, it's hard. I can't do that. It's so hard to do. Like, oh, I have a job. I can't do that. It's so, right? Have you ever? Well, I don't have the privilege of saying that I spent a lot of time with my grandparents. So the only memory I have really is from my mom's mom and my dad's mom, my grandmothers from both sides, but mostly from my dad's mom. But I was young when we came to US. I was 13, and so I don't remember a whole lot of spending that kind of a whole lot of time with my grandparents, and my uh, grandfathers passed when I was very young. My mom's dad passed when I was, I think, not even one, and my dad's dad, I was very young. I was like, I think 5 or 6 or something. So I don't have that privilege of telling you stories from my grandparents. I don't have that. Some of you, a lot of you have. I don't. But when we came to America, my dad's, my dad's aunt, no, my dad's mom's aunt, yeah, her husband, which also turns out to be my dad's mom's uncle. Don't ask me how that turned out to be, but these two folks took us in, and we actually stayed with them. I haven't shared this story with you guys, and I'm not going to, because it's a long story. But the husband, right, the uncle of my dad's mom that we stayed with, he was when he passed. He was I believe 106, 106 or 105. Okay. And this guy was amazing. This guy was just boom, right? Solid, and just like you would shake his hand and you'd like go like that, like just solid, right? Like a mountain. Like he was tall and just, and he had slowed down. I had never met them before, but this was my first experience with them, and they were amazing. They were just amazing people, right? But one thing he would do, if he would corner you. Okay, this is the funniest thing. I love the guy actually. Um, oh man, I'm remembering him today. Um, One thing he would do, if he would corner you, and it would be over. Like you could not get out of that corner, right? He would talk forever, forever. Like if you did not get up or go anywhere, he would just talk until he would go to sleep, right? So it was funny because when he would corner you, right, he would tell you these stories. He would tell you from, from the time that he worked in the farm and how he did this and how, there was so much, the really old stories, like how they went to like to farm and work and how he would like literally pick up a calf and like all this stuff, right? Just crazy stories, right? And I really never really understood them back then. I was thinking to myself, I was actually, I was thinking about that before I went live. I'm like, back then I was like, oh my God, he cornered me again. I'm gonna hear these stories again. But the thing is, it's it's amazing, right? They had, if you have grandparents or great aunts and uncles or people like that that sit there and tell you their stories, like they tell you their childhood stories and how they went to school and how they went to work and how they made bread and how they ate and how they provided for the family, you'd be like, that stuff doesn't even make any sense anymore, right? It's like, so it sounds so primitive, and yet it was like 30 years ago. It wasn't like that long ago, like 50, 60 years ago, right? So, and it just doesn't make any sense anymore. Like imagine back then when they needed to start a business, right? They had to like go get a store and put some money down, all this stuff, right? So now, which brings me to the point of this whole life. Today I heard this story. This lady on the panel, she was speaking, and I just loved what she said. She said she used to sit by her grandpa, and he would tell her stories because she lives in a farm, and they have live cattle and stuff like that. And she goes, my grandpa used to tell me stories of how they did it back then in the farm, right? Like without the equipment, without the technology, without all this knowledge, without Google, with all this cert, like they had no knowledge of this stuff. Imagine that. Imagine all that stuff that we don't even think about, right? So she was saying this story, right? She was telling the story, and she's saying, yeah, he was telling me, how crazy hard it was to just um, um, grow the kids and provide for the family. And then she pauses for a second, right? And then she goes, now let's just fast forward to today. What we do is we help people uh, create an extra source of income by using social media and just being online, right? And just to work from home, you can do this part-time on your phone, you can do it full-time, part-time, anything, right? And all you got to do is introduce people to the opportunity or the products, right? That's kind of all you got to do. You don't have to like walk in the snow. You don't have to plow anything, right? You don't have to pick up a calf and like bring it back. You don't have to do all this stuff, right? You just literally run this whole entire thing on your phone, right? And she was saying, she's saying, imagine if I were to sit with my grandpa and I would be telling him this story. I would be telling him, Grandpa, it's so hard to build a business right now. I can't even finish that. I think it's hilarious. I never thought about that. Imagine you sitting there. Imagine me sitting there telling my dad's great uncle, Yeah, it's really hard right now. I talked to 10 people and nine of them tell me to F off. It's really hard. I have all the stuff on my plate and life is so hard. Imagine if I were sitting there and telling that to my dad's great uncle. What would he say? He would say, "Really? It's hard? Is it? You sitting and running your business on this guy right here? You just got to put in a little time and effort. It's hard? You don't know enough people?" I thought that was hilarious. So the next time I want to say it's hard, I actually tried it today. The next time I want to say it's hard, I'm going to think about me sitting on the couch, getting cornered by my dad's great uncle, and me telling him, yeah, it's so hard to build this business. Some people just don't want to do it. I don't know what he would tell me. He would probably think I'm crazy or something. He'll probably tell my dad to, I think you should check your son. I think he's lost his brains. I love that. I never even thought about that. How can I even bring up that excuse? Now that I know that, I could never even say it's hard anymore. Like, I literally can't say that anymore because it's so dumb. What? That guy brought a calf. On, I, all you gotta do is carry this, not like a calf, a cell phone. You run your business on your cell phone and you say it's hard. I keep thinking about that that whole story. How's how would he answer me? Like, I want to know that. Like, how would he answer me? I thought about that like most of the day today. I thought about like most of the excuses that I've been bringing up to myself, and I thought about sitting there and telling him about these things and wondering what he would tell me. He would I I'm pretty sure he would probably call over my dad and say, right? So the next time you want to say it's hard, but I have a job, I don't have time, but I have kids. Oh my goodness, the door came off the hinge. It's so hot outside. All this stuff, you know, all this stuff you want to say. Maybe you should run it by your grandpa, grandma, the ones that have told those crazy old how I used to stories. Maybe run it by them and see what they would tell you. Would they say, "Oh yeah, baby, I know it's so hard. Like, come here. Let me just." Or would they call the authorities on you and be like, "What is wrong with you? It's hard." You know what I mean? Think about that stuff. Like, the next time you're gonna say it's hard, think about you sitting down with your grandpa, grandma, or that person of influence, like that person that told you these old stories. Just sit there and say, "Oh, you know what, grandma, grandpa? It's so hard right now." And think about what they would give you in response. Like, what would be their response to you? Would they say, "Oh, baby, yeah, it's so hard. I'm so sorry"? We used to walk in the snow 300,000 miles to pick up one loaf of bread. And you run this thing on your cell phone and it's hard. Let's not bring that up again. I know I won't. I, I honestly, truthfully, after I heard her say this story, the way she said it, I really feel dumb I've ever said that before about anything I've done. I literally feel so dumb saying that because she made me really think. It's like, yeah, it's not even hard anymore. It's like those guys didn't do, like, they didn't have the technology, they didn't have the information at the like, right, they didn't have the opportunities, they didn't have so much they did not have, and they got it done. You know what I mean? So the next time, again, the next time you just, this comes in and you want to think about it, you want to say, oh, you know what, stop, Sean, stop. What would he say, right? And I think the more you and I put that into practice, the less we're going to say it's hard and we're just going to accept the work and just do it or not do it, you know, but I don't think we'll bring up that anymore. So if you're one of those people that doesn't even like that anymore, doesn't want to say that really wants more out of life, and I mean, what does hard have anything to do with it? Ray Higdon said this once. He said, what does that have anything to do with it? You just do it. You just get it done, right? So I just thought it's just such a simple, such a, like, right there example that we have overlooked so many times. I know I have. And isn't it weird that it's usually like that? It's the things that are right in front of us. Those are the things we overlook. The things that are right there. I often have said, don't jump over a crumbled $100 bill and stop to pick up a shiny dollar coin. Think about that. So with that, hopefully you guys got some love, some inspiration, some value. Get ready for my skit tonight. You know it's gonna be singing Saturday. You know it's gonna be singing Saturday. So the outfit is semi off, you know, but the microphone is getting a lot more love than I'm getting love. People are asking, like, about the microphone. But anyway, get ready for tonight's skit. I appreciate you guys. Drop your thoughts, your comments, your feedback below. Let me know what you think about the story I shared with you, the concept I shared with you. Let me know how is that gonna resonate with you. Let me know if you actually are gonna start, like, using that and not say it's hard anymore. Let me know that. I would love to know if you're actually behind me on this. I think it's a brilliant idea, and why the heck haven't we talked about this before? Anyway, hopefully you guys got some love, some inspiration, some value. Until tomorrow, when we do it all over again. Much love.